At the Track is powered by Marie's Custom Tees, Tumblers, and more, Baggett Racing and Automotive Services, B. Buckler Designs, and BsSmall Engine Repair. Now let's get into today's episode. So hey everybody, I'm Redline Gary, and this is the At the Track series with Mr. Christopher Hill. And so Christopher, tell the audience a little bit about yourself here.
Well, I started racing back in 2020. It's something I've been wanting to do since I was a kid, and I finally got to do it. I currently switched careers last year. I now sell cars at Newton Nissan South in Shelbyville, Tennessee. So I had to put racing off for a little bit, but this year they are graciously letting me race, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Nice. So with that explains pretty much how you pretty much got started, like, in 2020.
Right.
What series do you race?
I was doing the Road Warriors, and I started dabbing into the little Ridge Runners a little bit. Just trying, because I had a bigger motor at the time, so I was just trying to see what I could do, what I couldn't do. Really, just testing everything out. When you first get started, you got to learn all kinds of different techniques, things you can do to your car to get it set up for the track. So that's basically what my first year was all about, was just, fine tuning my skills and the car.
Yeah. And then when Kevin and I went down and got to hang out with y'all, I mean, that was fun, but they had some different rules where you had to be in a certain time bracket between the two classes, because, the Ridge Runner and the Road Warriors are very similar, but very different.
Yeah. I actually experienced the black flag myself a few times. After, like I said, learning the car, getting my skill set in, I finally made it to the front of the pack during the Road Warriors, which I was super excited about the first time it happened. And I totally was not paying attention to the flagman. I was just kind of, tunnel vision, just going. And I think I caught it one time. No, I didn't catch it either time, actually. But so that race, I got a little bit too excited going in for the checker flag in turn 3. Kind of went in too hard. Didn't want to hit my cousin, so I had to back off a little bit. And when I did, he come around me, and he took the win. I finished second, but because of the black flags and I did not back off, they dropped me back another placement. So I technically come in third that race. But I mean, if you were there, you see me pull in over there to the tech area, and I hopped out of that car like I won Daytona 500. I was super stoked about it. It's one of the best feelings ever, especially being up there with your family. And the second time I run into it, we were doing a trophy dash race, and I was doing it with Austin Jacobs. Me and him were neck to neck the whole race. He was on the outside, I was on the inside. They had a different flagman, so I noticed the black flag the first time because I was actually paying attention this time. I backed off. The second time it happened, I thought he was pointing at both of us, and so I backed off way too much, and all it was really was he was showing halfway through the race. And so I had to catch back up. He still beat me that race, but I mean, that was a fun race too. It's super exciting when you get up there at the front, man. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, some of the fans don't, realize, even though you have a receiver and you're hearing race command, sometimes you can't make out what they're saying during the race.
That's true. At the time, we weren't running the receivers. So we basically just had to watch the flagman. Let me rephrase that. Some people might have had them. I was fresh. The race with Austin Jacobs was the start of 2021, right before I had to leave out. But we didn't have to have him at the time. But I did try him out at Nashville Speedway. And yes, over the car and the static, it's really hard to hear anybody on those things. But yeah, over at Highland Rim, we didn't have him. So we had to go base off the flagman or, the official standing on the side telling us either move over or whatever we needed to do.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, at the rim, the official that he's talking about is on the back stretch, and then you have the flagman that's on the front stretch. So between the two, they can coordinate so drivers can actually see. Who would you say is on your team that helps you out at the track every race?
Every race, I mean, be totally honest, my whole family's down there. You got the whole Williams bunch down there. They help me out every race, trying to help me learn what I needed to learn about the track, how to set up my car, things I needed to do and not do during the race while I'm in the car. Casey Williams, he's been on my team from even before I started racing. He's been trying to get me up there for years, and finally I did it. And they've all had my back this whole time, and I'm very appreciative of that. I know a lot of people probably don't like those guys, but that's my family, and I stand behind me, anywhere, everywhere. But they've always had my back, and of course I got my wife, my daughter, my nieces and nephews are there every race. My first year, I even had my dad come out, the rest of my family come out at some point. It's really a family thing, and once you get down there, you start talking to people, you start making friends, they become family. So I mean, Cameron Choate, let's see, man, there's so many. Cody Phillips, Justin Doney, Aaron was down there. Chase, me and Chase had a friendly rivalry going on the whole first season, especially for Rookie of the Year. That was really fun. I even let him get in my car at some point. I mean, there's just a lot, and I'm sorry if I forgot any of you. It's not that I forgot. It's just hard to name everybody off at once. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, and the point of that question is because, a lot of people see like professional teams with like, 5, 6 guys. They don't realize that, us living in the real world of racing, it's a lot of family. It's a lot of friends, it's a lot of bumps and bruises.
Yep.
You're going to be fighting, crying, and, cheering. It's everything.
Yeah, I mean, this ain't NASCAR. The people that come out to help you, they're there because they love the sport. They want to help you out. They're there for the fun of it. Just like I got a couple new people coming out with me this year. My crew chief / mechanic, Colin Mock. Also got a guy, Donnie Skivo, is coming out with me. They're on the team this year. They're going to help me out as much as they can while we're out in the pits and everything like that. But yeah, man, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice. And I still remember like the Rim did the treats for the kids, where they got to meet the drivers, and man, it's a blast.
Yeah, I tell you, man, that was one of my favorite things was the trunk or treat, dude, because mainly, the kids getting excited to see the drivers, to see the cars and everything like that. And, me personally, that hit home. I enjoyed every minute of it because, growing up, I was that kid. I had my favorite drivers. I wanted to go try to meet them, get their autographs and stuff like that. Like I even went ahead and printed off pictures and I signed them for the kids and everything like that. It was just a lot of fun. That to me is one of the most fun and what's the word I'm looking for? Rewarding things about racing down there. So, and speaking of, going out there and not knowing the other side of things, like I grew up around the racetrack. I grew up building cars. I did a lot of street racing there for a while. But going into a track, things are way different.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I asked my cousin, Joey, actually, and I was like, dude, like every time I start to head out on that track, I am nervous as heck, dude. I feel like I got to go pee and stuff like that. And he said, that's every time. And it doesn't stop. It never not happens. He said, when it does, you need to stop because you're no longer, And so every race it was like that. But once I got on the track and it was time to go, everything was gone. There was no more nervousness. Anything that could have made you mad that day is just gone. It's just you in the car and everybody around you, and it's a lot of fun. It's serenity, really.
What makes racing special to you?
Oh, man, I mean, in all honesty, what I've already said it in this video, but the fact that I grew up with it is something I've wanted to do since I was a kid. I finally was able to start doing it, and man, it's the purest, unadulterated joy you will ever have in your life. And that's really what it is for me. It's not, I don't think it's really the adrenaline. It's the fact that I'm out there with family, I'm having fun, and that's what it is. It's fun. It's something that makes me happy. So.
Well, yeah. And speaking of family, like like when I went down to Tennessee with y'all, there was a lot, even though everybody was on the track battling. When we were all in the pits, it was like one big family. If somebody needs something, you were running to different pits, and just like, y'all got this, y'all got that, whatever it took to get those cars onto the track.
Mhm.
And unlike other sports where it's like, you don't go to the other person's locker room,
Yeah, you don't see that
racing.
in NASCAR.
Yeah. And it's like, you go to these tracks and you go to the pits as a fan or a spectator, you will see teams coming together, even though they're going to be gridlocked on that track.
Mm-hmm.
But, they're helping each other out as much as they can.
Yeah. I mean, we're all out there to have fun, and, we're going to help each other out. Like I said, there might be a few that don't get along and they'll stay away from each other and whatever. But for the most part, everybody's helping everybody out.
Oh, yeah. Well, and we all, I think every track I've been to, we all know the guy.
Yeah.
Just stay away from. Yeah. So with that, who are your sponsors this year?
So this year, the only technical sponsor I'm going to have is myself. New Nissan South, Shelbyville, Tennessee. Topher Hill's the name. Come see me if you're looking for a car. Other than that, I'm still keeping two of the sponsors I had from the first year and the start of my second year, because they were there with me from the get-go. I'm just leaving their logo and everything on it. And if I win and finally get to shout them out, I mean, I'm going to do it. It's Randy Jackson with Getting There Trucking. He's a really cool guy, really good guy. Hard gold. He's been with me since the beginning. And then Karen and John Traughber. They're technically family, but they've been helping me out, here and there since I started, and I can't thank them enough either. So,
all right. So, what has been your favorite race that you were in to date?
It's got to be the one where I actually made it to the front of the pack. That was just an amazing feeling, experience. Everybody was happy that I finally got up there. A lot of them that, when I passed them, they're like, "Oh, that was Chris. Like, where'd he come from?" It was just really fun actually running up front with my cousins, Casey, Joey. I don't think JJ was up there in that race. Or let me phrase that. I don't think he was in that race at all. But if I can get up there with him, I know I'm doing something at that point. But yeah, that was my favorite race. I absolutely loved it. I mean, yeah, that's got to be my favorite race. Yeah, that's it.
All right. What would you like to see more in racing? More of in racing, I should say.
More fans, man. It kind of got a little stagnant there for a little while. There, it seemed like there was less people showing up. This was a family thing growing up, and the stands were always packed full. And I'm hoping we can bring some more people out and get that going again.
Oh yeah. Well,
at the end of the day, when you're in a race and you get done, whether you're first, fifth, last, or whatever, the fans are going crazy because they had a good time. That's a good feeling too, man. It really is.
Oh yeah. Well, that and I've tried to shed light on this channel a little bit about, how much of a family atmosphere it really is. Because for us, it was almost like growing up, it was almost like church,
Mm-hmm.
Where every Saturday you knew where you were going to be. And it was an all-day affair. I mean, you got there right when the cars were practicing, all the way up until the features.
Sure enough, it was racing at your local track on Saturdays, watching NASCAR on Sundays.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just how it was. And it's like, where else could you go pay, $15 per person and get that type of quality entertainment?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think, it's somewhere around $15, but I mean, you get out there now, granted, me growing up, and this might sound mean, but it's not, I look forward to the crashes. Even when I'm out there racing, I don't want to cause a crash. Don't get me wrong. I'm not out there to hit someone, but I do enjoy seeing the wrecks, and something about them is, cool. But, I don't know, man. Yeah, it used to be a real big thing, and it was a family thing, and just people got away from it. Nowadays, everybody's like, "Oh, they're making a left turn," and I'm like, "No, you get in the car and you'll see how different that actually is."
Yeah, it's way more, and that's one thing that I've tried with this channel to explain is no, there's a lot more to it than just getting into a vehicle and making a left turn.
Oh yeah.
A lot. But what motivates you to strap into a car and race?
So I got a few things. One, it it's the happiest place for me. I enjoy being behind the wheel of a car, and I love being on the track. But seeing my daughter, my nieces and nephews, heck, anybody in my family get excited that I'm doing well or whatever. It brings it warms heart. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And now the final question. Where can people find you to find out what track you're running? Because like you said, you run the Fairgrounds Speedway and then you run the Rim.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of distance there.
There is. So mainly this year I will be at the Rim. I'm going to try to do some fairgrounds, but most of it's going to be at the Rim. And like I said, this year it's going to be once a month. But you can follow me on my social media. I've got It'll Buff Out Racing on Instagram. That's technically, it was like a little slogan or whatever for me for a while, but it's actually turned into a race team that I started with Donnie, Colin, and then I'm bringing in a few people. We're going to have Dawson, and hopefully I can get Nate in. But we're also going to be doing drifting on Sundays. So I'm not just going to be doing a circle track. I'm also going to be drifting.
Nice.
They're going to teach me. Yeah, they're going to teach me that little trick of the trade there. But you can find me there. You can find me at Newton Nissan South pretty much Monday through Saturday from open to close. Other than that, you can find me on Facebook.
All right. Now, bonus question.
I knew there was going to be something I didn't know about. All right,
it's easy. Do you have merchandise?
I don't actually have merchandise. I mean, I have some shirts, some hats and stuff that goes to family and people actually helping me out. Never really thought to put any merchandise out there, but if anybody's interested, let me know. I can definitely hook you up with something.
Yeah, so I'll have all the social media links down in the description below. And as always, I'm Redline Gary. Keep it on the track.
Today's business is Kate's Pet Sitting Services out of Asheville, Ohio. They feature a wide variety of services, such as overnight care, daycare, nail trimming, and baths. A wide variety of payment options, such as credit cards, cash, and you can pay online. You can contact them through the phone number above, or through email, or get a hold of them on Facebook. I'm Redline Gary. Thanks to Christopher Hill and Kate's Pet Sitting Services. Keep it on the track.